Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I myself am Dr. Kush. Welcome to Coachella weekend. Coachella weekend, famously for, I'm sure, not just Los Angeles bartenders. I'm sure for bartenders all over the country and possibly the world that serve overpriced drinks to hipsters. This is a rough week for everybody. You're not going to make your money because everybody that normally likes to come in and have a big, fat, expensive drink is doing that somewhere else. And they're doing it in the middle of the desert, basically. Just a crazy, as somebody that's, one could call me a desert rat. I wouldn't like it. It's not my favorite thing that you can call me, but you can call me a desert rat. As a desert rat myself, I know how uncomfortable everybody is right now. But I also know that everybody is at Coachella. So I figured for those of you that did not bring some sort of crazy sat phone or are not, decided not to go to the concerts and sit at home and watch Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks, I figured I would give you a little piece of what Coachella is doing, not the music. I don't really sing well. I do sing. I don't sing well. But I figured what I can do well is give you guys the drinks. So I've done a little research into what exactly they are serving this year at Coachella, and we're going to make them here so that you don't have to go to Coachella. That's the thesis of the show. That's the thesis of the show. That's what we got going. But before we do that, let me say hello to all my little Coachellies. First of all, let me say hello to our good friend, Espen. Wow, Espen. Oh, dang, Espen. I don't know why I'm yelling at Espen. Espen had nothing to do with the fact that I didn't turn on my soundboard. Espen, Moose, give me a second. Let me just get my soundboard going, and then we will rock out. Here, I'll even give Espen one of these. Moose. Moose is in the house. He got here way early and is sticking around. It looks like way late. Amy Beer is a little... Just real quick, Amy Beer's real name is Amy Beer. The name that you see there is not her real name. Her real name actually is Amy Beer. She wanted us to know that a little bit ago, and now we do know that. Amy Beer is a little concerned, as I see some of you are, that you do not have date syrup. That's okay. That's okay. You know what would go really well in this cocktail? Some Demerara simple syrup, or maybe just some regular simple syrup. All kinds of other things will go pretty well in this cocktail. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that I have everything for this cocktail. I might. Oh, no, I got it. Okay. Anyway, I have found a cheat code for date syrup that I'm going to show you in a second. It is delicious. It is, I'm not going to call it nutritious, but it is delicious. And it's nice and easy to sort of have around at all times. So sorry, Amy, I should have given you guys days and days in advance, but I didn't know I was doing this until just very recently. Kyle Tender is in the house. Good to see you here. Shawnee Panabaker, good evening. Good evening to you, Shawnee Panabaker. Shawnee Panabaker is also on his cocktail journey. Pop on over and see him on Instagram. Shawnee Panabaker is always putting up cool, interesting stuff over on Instagram, doing takes on stuff. DC Debbie Clark, winner of the 2023 Kushtucky Derby, is in the house, giving us quick hellos. She doesn't do anything slow. DC Debbie Clark wins races. She says hi fast. Here is our good friend Tiki Tom. Good evening. Tiki Tom retiring soon, and we will be having one of his retirement parties here at Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. More to come there. Tiki Tom's not staying around. He's under the way. So if he could ever find his way to get over that way, hopefully he will be good. Oh, under the weather, heading to bed. Feel better there, Tiki Tom. Don't get sick before you retire. That's tough. Paulie Bellinardo also does not have any date syrup. It's fine. It's fine. I'll show you. I'll tell you how to make some. It's very simple. the exact same way you make every syrup. But I'll tell you how to make it anyway. Here is April DuBois, newly married. April DuBois. She is one of the DuBois now. Here's the other DuBois. DuBois are back in town. I can't keep doing that. Love that intro sound, Dr. Kush. Oh, fits so well. Yeah, we'll give you that. Moose. Okay. Low Carb Cocktail Guy is here. Low Carb Cocktail Guy will probably be able to tell you exactly how to make date syrup, but without carbs. I don't know how many carbs are in a date, Low Carb Cocktail Guy. Maybe you can tell us, but maybe not. And we got our good friend Jay Carter, party starter, here to start the party. Okay, let's get into these cocktails. I have a reason for all of them. There is a specific reason we're making these. This isn't just willy-nilly like, hey, you know what would be good if we were to drink this at Coachella and then I can put anything in there. You know why? Because in order to enjoy Coachella really well, probably drink a lot. Probably just start drinking now and get to it. So we're going to start off with our good friend, Jeffrey, the Beach Bum Berry. Jeff the Beach Bum Berry, while he was creating, sorry, let me take that back. Jeffrey the Beach Bum Berry, while he was discovering all of the lost secrets of the Tomb of Tiki, ran around and started making his own cocktails. Okay, that's fine. The best way, I think, to make your own brand new cocktails is to learn how a cocktail is built. So Jeffrey the Beach Bum Berry was running around, reading old menus, talking to old bartenders. He was picking up old checks off of old grounds to see if any clue to any of these mysteries could be unlocked by all this stuff. And in that, he was able to discern how to make a lot of these old cocktails. And from that, he said, that's not so hard. I think I can do this. And so from there, he did do that. This is one of Jeffrey the Beach Bum Berry's very own cocktails. He was asked to make this. He was asked to make this for a festival that was not Coachella. And the reason we know it's not Coachella is because of the name. The name is, it's spelled Coachella Cooler. The name is the Coachella Cooler. Coachella is the real name of that valley, apparently. The Coachella Valley. So he calls this the Coachella Cooler, but it's the same place. And one thing that is unique about that place is I guess it grows good dates. You want a date? Get to Coachella. You want to have a weird time where it's definitely not a date, but maybe you hook up with a couple people? Go to Coachella. Slight difference. No dating in Coachella. Lots of dates in Coachella. This is what I want to show you guys right here. One of my very favorite stores of all time. Let me get it right in here. This is a store from a store called Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's, where all of the checkout people wear Hawaiian shirts, and it seems like it should be more tropical. It's not so tropical, but this right here is organic date syrup. It works in this drink better than any of the date syrups that I have made to date. Up until now, I have tried to make other date syrups in order to make this cocktail. Up until now, none of them have turned out as well as organic date syrup from Trader Joe's. So head on over to your Trader Joe's, head into the weird, mysterious items aisle. We all know that they have one where it's like, I don't know I need like 2 fish. I need half of a bottle of wine. I don't want a full bottle of wine. I need half a bottle of wine. And I need some orange rinds. You know, that aisle. This stuff is right there. Search over there. This stuff is a little heavier than what normal date syrup would be. So in the end, you want about 1 ounce of some date syrup. You're going to have to play with this a little bit, though. You're going to have to sort of adjust, maybe move it around, maybe, figure out exactly what your levels are. And then put around 1 ounce of some date syrup into this cocktail called the Coachella Cooler. It moves like molasses. It's very, very sticky. So The reason we're starting with this one, obviously, is because we want to use the other ingredients to help get all of this sticky crud out of here. And that's what we're going to do. So we'll put this off to the side, use this exact same jigger for the next ingredient. Next ingredient we're going to be putting in here is going to be the good old, famous old Palm Spring grapefruit. Does it need to be from Palm Springs? Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, has to be from Palm Springs. Otherwise, not a lot of people know this. This drink would actually be toxic. It would actually kill you if this grapefruit does not come from Palm Springs. Get that grapefruit from Palm Springs and go from there. Obviously, that's not true. Just find a nice grapefruit that you like. If you have a friend that lives in Palm Springs and happens to be bringing back some grapefruits, ask for a couple extra ones so that you can make this cocktail. It's a white grapefruit. We are going to go ahead and drop this in. We need 3/4 of an ounce. Now, with grapefruits, as I try to get this done, we are going to put our knife into here, and then we're going to squeeze this grapefruit right along the side of it, hopefully keeping some of those seeds back. Hopefully not dripping all of the grapefruit right onto the bar also. We're dripping some of it. But we want those grapefruits to hold back, but we want to get it up to about 3/4 of an ounce of our grapefruit juice. Once it gets a little channel, it goes much faster. Let's get this right here. Get a nice runoff there. Oh boy, does that look good. Oh boy, oh boy. My grandfather used to say that. If you guys wonder why I always say, oh boy, that's what my grandfather used to say. Grandpa Winslow would say, oh boy, oh boy. Drop this in 3/4 of an ounce of some grapefruit juice. Looking real good there. Keep these over here. On this channel, you know, let me threaten you over here. You guys know that we are a fan of rum. We like rum on the channel. That always makes us really happy. Well, this is not a rum drink, even though this is a cocktail created by one of the rum kings himself, Jeffrey the Beach Bum Berry. This is not a rum drink. This, in fact, is a bourbon drink. So we're going to reach down for our bottle of rye. Oops. If you could, just don't worry so much in this cocktail whether or not you are using the rye or using the bourbon. I understand. People in Kentucky are now, I can hear them collectively picking up their pitchforks and coming right for Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. Don't worry so much in this cocktail if you are using a bourbon, a rye, a wheated, a peated, a streeted. Don't worry about that. Instead, worry about what that proof is. We are looking for a high proof. This is bottled in bond, and thus we need to be putting in a 100 proof whiskey. And we're going to be putting in 1.5 ounces of 100 proof, or, and this is a much more precise way to say this, 50% alcohol by volume. Okay, now that we got that covered, put in 1.5 ounces of some 100 proof whiskey. While I'm waiting for this whiskey to help dissolve all of that date syrup, which is definitely sticking together at the side. Let's bring in sticking to the side cam right here. Look at this guy. You can just see all of that date syrup just Bloody Marying the side of that. Kind of crazy. While we're waiting for that to dissolve, let me say hello to some of you late shower uppers. We don't mind that you're late. In fact, we like it. That's not everybody shows up right on time. But let me say hello to our good friend Raquel Martinez. Raquel Martinez is here. Hello, and also to you, our friend Raquel Martinez. I also want to say hello to Bootopia. Bootopia, yes, it has started. This is not, I repeat, this is not a recording, unless you're watching this later, and then it is definitely a recording. But if you're watching at the right time, that is correct. Scotty DuBois loves that Rittenhouse. Paul wishes I'd used another whiskey. That's okay. And Marky Sanchez, this is the comment that I wanted to get to. It's Robert Smith of The Cure. The Cure has played at Coachella. So that makes me cool because Robert Smith has played at the Coachella. That makes me cool. We're going to be putting in a little bit of Angostura bitters. We are down to the dregs of this. If you guys don't mind 1 second, I'm just going to give this a quick, otherwise Kyle's going to yell at me. I'm just going to give it a quick focus. There we go. Now that we have that beautiful new cam, Kyle gets very upset. He's become a real focus hog. So we're just going to take some of this Angostura bitters right here. That is in this little jar. We want about 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. So just do that. Don't argue. Just put it in. 4 dashes for me because I have a half jigger or a half shaker. What are we calling those things? I have a half dasher. We want lots of ice in this, guys. Lots and lots of ice with the 100 proof whiskey in here. We're going to need to water this down just a touch. And with all of this date syrup, that's going to help us out a lot. We don't, we want just a little bit of water running through here, but we want this to be extra cold and a little muted. That's what we're looking for. So grab this. Close that, and then give this a big shake back and forth. Remember, guys, back and forth and up and down. Make sure you do that. If you're just shaking it like this, you're eventually and very quickly going to give yourself some tennis elbow. Not ideal. And if you really want to do it the correct way, 2 hands. I'll do it 2 hands today. I feel, I never know what to do with this hand anyway. I just like have it sit here awkwardly. We're going to get 2 hands on here. We're going to pull back and forth, up and down. Can I just show you guys something? Look at this color. Oh, look at this color. Look at that color, folks. That is quite a color we got going on in here. It is kind of a red, bright red. It's got a lot going on. That's what we're looking for today. Serve this in 2 ways. You can always serve this in 2 ways. I think if you are in the Coachella Valley, and again, that is the right way to say it, Coachella Valley. If you're down there, you're going to want to serve this one over the rock, right? On one big, large piece of ice cube. That's the way to serve it because I think it's probably difficult in the desert to get a lot of good water. So you know that if you got a big, clear piece of ice, then, you know, that's good water. So if it's been a beautiful, clear piece of ice, that's probably good water. Taken care of at least. But for this one, since we're not there, I wanted to serve this one up. I just think that this is going to have kind of a cool look up. We have our Marie Antoinette glass. So we're going to pour this guy right in here. And just look at this color. My goodness. That is something else. Pouring a little slow. That date syrup is pretty thick. I probably at this point could just water down the date syrup. That'd probably be a good way to do it. But no, not me. Oh no, not me. I never lost control. We're going to put a little bit of our spent grapefruit. We're going to just slice this right here on top, right there. We're going to take the grapefruit and we're going to express it just on top of this right here. Dropper in there, and there, my friends, we have it. The Beach Bum Berry. Jeffrey the Beach Bum Berry asked to create a cocktail for the Coachella Valley, and came up with this beauty that has dates and grapefruit and bitters and bourbon. Kind of a masterpiece, kind of a stroke of genius, I think. If you are able to get your hands on some date syrup, I highly recommend it. If you are unable, very simple to make date syrup. I will explain this to the very end. Almost every type of syrup, especially anything that you're trying to make that already has sugar in it, this is what you want to do. Equal parts sugar and water, boil that up, and then throw in the whatever you're trying to make it out of. So if you're making out of dates, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, snozberries, chuckberry, whatever kind of berries you're trying to make this out of, then throw it in, let that steep for as long as you need in order to get the flavor you want. Usually about 20 minutes, but you can do it a little longer. But I find that the Trader Joe's stuff is really good. Cheers to you guys, to Jeff, and to all of the lunatics that are out of Coachella in what I can only assume is rain. It is certainly not a clear day here in Los Angeles. The problem I've always had with date syrup is I can never get it strong enough. I can never get it to actually taste like dates. And the Trader Joe's organic date syrup turns out it tastes just like dates. Surprising. Shock of all shocks that this stuff actually tastes like dates. So this is really good stuff. Highly recommend it. Maybe water it down a touch just so it doesn't stick. Once you shake it, it all comes out. So we're good there. This is that. So turn it this way so it gets its full glory. Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll put it on this. Give it a little spin. Once around the block for us, Coachella cooler. Let that just go. Really, really pretty stuff that we got going on here. Wow. I mean, I don't know. You ever seen something so pretty? I haven't. I did once. I married her. There we go. That's what I got. Turn that off. Kyle, do you want this? I'm going to pass this off to Kyle. There we go. Oh, here he comes. Just padding in. Kyle's angry for some reason. Yeah. I think he doesn't like me hitting on my wife. He gets jealous. There you go, pal. You got that? You good? Just take as much time. Shawnee Panda Baker just yelled money shot. And that's what we like. Kyle tried to indicate that it was not Shawnee Panda Baker that yelled money shot. In fact, it was Shawnee Panda Baker. She anyway. Okay. That's what we got. So if you're interested in making a cocktail that was created specifically for the Coachella Valley or the Coachella Valley, that's a great one. That's a great one. If you're just like sitting around in Coachella, around that area, Palm Springs, etc., and you want a drink that sort of exemplifies the area, hey, that's a great one. I figured one out for you. I didn't figure it out. Jeffrey Beachbumberry did, but that's a great one for you. Get some real fresh dates from out there. However, I doubt, I've never been, I doubt at Coachella that they have dates just like growing inside of the festival. I don't think they do. However, I feel like I'm doing a lot of howevers, but something that you can absolutely get inside of Coachella is a cocktail called an Aperol Spritz. Apparently, that is the drink of the festival. There is a whole like corridor just of Aperol Spritzes. I think Aperol is running it. I think that the people out there are in love with the Aperol Spritz. And so what I wanted to do was make an Aperol Spritz that I think the people out there might enjoy even a little bit more than just a regular Aperol Spritz, which we all know is really just Aperol soda water and some champagne. I wanted to give it just a little oomph, a little, kind of looks like an effeminate tiger. But what I'm saying is like pushing it over the edge. I want to give you a little bit. So we're going to be doing a cocktail called the, what was Sierra Madre? But I figured maybe better that we call it the Coachella Spritz. Let's call it the Coachella Spritz. It's called the Coachella Spritz. So we're going to be making a cocktail called the Coachella Spritz. Now we're going to reach down here and grab what some would call, and I'm including this, the greatest spritz glass of all time. You just want a large version of a wine glass. Look at all that. Mixed Cocktail Hour is here. Says they heard there was a corridor for magic mushrooms there too. We will absolutely do a magic mushroom show if we can get that legally done. It will be 6 hours. The show will be about 6 or 7 hours, and it'll be mostly Dr. Kush staring directly at his bar and wondering, what, huh? What is going on? What? 6 hours of that. So maybe we'll do the Magic Mushroom Show at some point, but yeah. Instead, the Aperol Spritz should keep me focused and ready to go. What do the kids like? Let me ask you guys something. Let me just get, you know what? Let me bring it down to the kids level. What do the kids like? What do us kids, what do we enjoy? You know, with the gray in our beards, with our really cool band from the late 70s, early 80s, with our Robert Smith shirts, what do we like? You know what we like? Mezcal. That is what we like. The kids like mezcal. The kids are big fans of mezcal. It seems as though in the past 10 years, oh my gosh, everybody's finally caught on to the mezcal train. I myself, as a grizzled kid, as an old, beat up, bone hurting, grizzled child, I have already loved mezcal and then hated mezcal. I've already gone through the whole, my whole arc, and now I'm just kind of fine on mezcal. I don't know, I'm just fine on it. But the kids are finding it now, and they love it. So we're gonna put some mezcal in this drink. So I got to go down to the almost never used bottom shelf. Give me a second. You're just gonna hear some. Found it. We almost never use this stuff, but this is called mezcal. Now, if you don't know what mezcal is, you do. Even if you don't know what mezcal is, you do, because you know mezcal. You know one version of mezcal. You have to. If you don't, then you would not have found this cocktail show. You know at least one version of mezcal. And that version of mezcal is called, let me see if I can pronounce this right, tequila. Tequila is a version of mezcal. Mezcal is the overarching, the everything. Mezcal is the omega, and within the omega, the everything, is the. I don't think that's how the omega works. Anyway, it's one version of mezcal is tequila, but this is another version of mezcal. Kind of fun when I hit the wrong camera. This is another version of mezcal. This is Fidencio, but this is an espadín. Let me just make sure that I definitely have that right. Yes, this is a Maguey Espadín. Espadín is just the same way bourbon is bourbon because of what it's made of. This is just an Espadín because of what it is made of. It's made of it's made of an agave plant called Espadín. So we're gonna put that here. Still a lot of dates in there, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna make this one in glass. Why not? I mean, we have concerts to see. We have to go see The Cure. Probably have to go see Heart at some point. I imagine Heart's playing. Probably Green Jello. I assume Green Jello is at this Coachella. I don't know who's going to be there, but we got somewhere to be. We're going to go ahead and put in 1 ounce of some mezcal. Working on my choreography to get everything to get there. Marcus Sanchez says, Jane's Addiction headlined Coachella? Freaking love Jane's Addiction. Died to see that show. I probably would have. My parents would have killed me. Fun fact, tequila makes Tammy puke on people's shoes. That's a fun fact. Oh, that's a fun fact. I think that's a kind of a sad fact. Maybe that's just a fact. Okay, we have our delicious mezcal in here. Let's give that a little swirl. Now, not all mezcal is super smoky. Some mezcal is more smoky than others, but mezcal will typically, almost always, have a little bit more of that smoke. Just because of the way they make it, you're going to get a little bit more of that smoke. So, in order to counteract some of that smoke, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to bring the fire. This right here is Aperol. We all know Aperol. It is a bright red Amaro. Sorry, one second. I just have to talk to Shawnee Panabaker. Quick green Jello story, if you don't mind. Shawnee Panabaker. I was on the Kiss cruise. I was there pitching rum. I was like selling rum on the Kiss cruise, or whatever I was doing there. Green Jello was on the boat. The actual band, they call themselves Green Jelly now because I guess Jello sued them. But Green Jello, they were thrown off of the boat. How come? And I'll tell you exactly how come. Because somebody didn't hide all of the bottles of Kiss rum. Now, I don't know who that was. Somebody just didn't hide them all. Green Jello did eventually find the Kiss bottles of rum, drank them, and I'm not going to say anything other than the exact truth. Drank them all. Drank all of the bottles of Kiss rum, and then began to throw deck chairs off of the Kiss cruise. They were so rock and roll that they were kicked off of the Kiss cruise. So Green Jello is still very much around, and still very much a bunch of wieners, a bunch of weirdos. Let's say weirdos, but they still do that song about little pig, let me in. Oh, why the hell will my chinny, chin, chin? They still do that 30, 40 years later. So anyway, little break in the action there. This is Aperol. Aperol is orange color, says Paul. That's pretty red to me. Aperol is at least something. We need 3/4 of an ounce of some Aperol. And in order to bring out all of the flavors we want, whenever we're using tequila or mezcal, technically whenever we're using mezcal or it's one of its forms, tequila, we want to throw a little lime in there. Always helps bring out some of those flavors. So we're just going to slice this. I do not have my cutting board, so we're going to do some dangerous knife action here. Send these things flying. It's kind of a cool shot. Send these guys flying here. We want to get the center of these limes out. The center of the lime is the least juicy part. So we want all that out of here. And then we're going to squeeze by hand. We need about, let me just check my notes. I did this earlier, and now I want to make sure that I know exactly what we're doing. We need about half an ounce of some lime juice. So squeeze by hand. And then I'm going to show you guys a cool trick. Right? This is a garnish trick. Everybody loves garnish tricks, right? Watch this cool garnish trick. Drop the lime in there. I would say hello to Mr. Highway 666. I think Summer 95 Labatt put CD singles in cases of Labatt Blue, and that's how he found Three Little Pigs by Green Jelly, I guess. Little pig, let me in. When I was like 8, that might have been the coolest song of all time. I think that might have been the #1 coolest song of all time. I listened to it again while I was on the Kiss cruise. It lacks. Drop that in, put that in there. We're doing great. Having a great time. Okay, kind of a short-looking drink. Don't worry about that because we, of course, for a spritz, are not finished. We want to put in a bunch of ice. Lots and lots of ice here. Don't worry about over-icing this guy. Get it right up there. Looking real good. Some of this, the reason that I picked, let me do that again. The reason that I picked mezcal in here instead of a much more mellow tequila is because of all this ice. We want this thing to be really nice and chilly. And when we are chilling something down like that, we are going to get some meltage, and that meltage is going to sort of tamp down our flavors. We already are not using Campari. This is an Aperol spritz version. So we already are tamping some of that down. We wanted to not tamp down the agave spirit so much, so we have this in. So use lots and lots of ice. And then we want to grab some soda water. Obviously, if you want, you can use some champagne. Or you can do a half and half. That's a pretty good way to do it. We're going to use some soda water in this one. I have this great orange soda water. Again, Trader Joe's does not sponsor my show. despite the fact that I talk about Trader Joe's all the time, they have never even acknowledged that I exist. And this is becoming really a problem. I really feel like I have some sort of survivor's guilt with Trader Joe's, but they don't even know I exist. But I do enjoy making cocktails that have Trader Joe's stuff in it. So we're going to go ahead and put in just about, I don't know, try and hit around 3 to 4 ounces of some soda water right there. You got that loveliness kicking around. And then that's what I was talking about. Look at that little garnish. Those are, that way you're not using the lime, you're not misusing the limes. You got something sort of fun and floating in there. One of the only things you really want floating around in your cocktail is ice and limes. Anything else? No bueno. One sec. Tequila friends, but betrayed me. Mark Sanchez is going to horrify Raquel with that green jelly song after the show. It is so bad. Yeah, it is. It is really bad. The Green Jello song. I recommend you guys all go watch it. Actually, definitely watch the video, the claymation video. Horrible. Little pig, let me in, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Actual lyrics, and can I say, an excellent impression of that song. You can serve this one with a straw if you want, not necessary. I do want to give this one a little stir though. That soda water, because the bubbles want to come up, the bubbles will come up, so they'll stay up on top. You want to give this a bit of a stir so that everything kind of mixes in here. Oh, I forgot one thing. One extra little bit of this. Put this in at the very end. These are chocolate bitters. Some of these are actually some of my very favorite chocolate bitters. These are Woodford chocolate bitters. We just want to put a little bit of chocolate bitters. Just kind of throw this right on top of here. We want to be able to smell those chocolate bitters. As you drink it, the chocolate will sort of find its way in there, but we're just going to grab, we're not really getting that bitters in there. Let's just give this a quick, there we go. We're just going to drop this in here. There we go. Let me get this from here. Just find a way to get those chocolate bitters right there on top so that when you get close to it, you smell all that chocolate. That's what we're looking for. Listen, to one-hit wonders from the early 90s that clearly shaped not just me, but also Shawnee Panabaker and also Marky Sanchez's musical tastes. I assume that we're all still listening to people like Green Jello, the Dead Milkmen. I'm sure we're also listening to the Dead Milkmen all the time. Who's another one that did that kind of fun stuff? Oh, I imagine, you know, who's actually playing. I imagine we're also listening to the Aquabats. That's who sang those fun songs. The Coachella Spritz. Cheers to you guys. Nice and simple, easy to get through. Chocolate bitters, brilliant add to the mezcal. Thank you, Paul. Raquel is Raquel. I'm telling you, when you hear the song, it will not be quite as funny. It'll not be quite as funny. Pitching Cameron, is Pitching Cameron another one of those bands? Got to listen to it. I have a very specific taste in music, and it has to be the most annoying storytelling, childish, like mid punk rock. That's the only kind of music I listen to. So, and of course, the Counting Crows. So that's what I got. Okay. Can I give you guys a touch of a warning? I added I think just a touch too much soda water in here. So don't put so much soda water in here, but this is pretty good anyway. All right, Kyle, do you want to get in here? Because I have one last cocktail to make, and it's actually 2 cocktails. Yeah. Little pig, little pig. Little pig, let me in. Kyle reminds me of the Big Bad Wolf every once in a while. You got that? Yes. Yeah. I can hear me yelling. Okay, that's that. That is the Coachella Spritz. What? You got something to say? Want to fight? Kyle wants to fight. That's the Coachella Spritz. Kyle, next time you come in, can you bring me a towel? I'm drowning over here. Oh, bitch and Camaro. Yes. Bitch and Camaro. Oh, I remember that song. Boy, that is a weird bitch and Camaro. Wow. That's gonna be in my head. Yeah, you're welcome. Little pig, let me in. Gonna try some with sparkling white wine. Yeah, you want some sparkling white wine in there. That's gonna help you out a ton. Okay. This next drink. Thank you. This next drink is 2 drinks. And it actually started off as a joke. However, at this point, so many people like this drink that we no longer consider it a joke. Now we just consider it a pain in the butt to make. In the 1980s, let's start there. In the 1980s, there was cocktails. There wasn't good cocktails, but there was cocktails. And because the 1980s were sort of coming back into their own, they were like, vodka was a thing now. People like suddenly vodka's everywhere. People didn't care about what the liquor tastes like. They just wanted to taste what the stuff tasted like. They started just putting drinks into frozen slushy machines. Why not? Slushies are delicious. You fight me on that. Slushies are delicious. Put a little vodka into a slushie and you have yourself a party. Well, in Miami, apparently somebody, drunk or sober, there they were, drinking, having a good time, said, I want, probably did like this, I want some of that one and some of that one. And I want to call it something. And the bartender most likely said, okay, fine. We'll call it a Miami Vice. And thus the cocktail was born. That's the whole story. Nobody actually knows who created this one or what happened. And it wasn't that people were making 2 full drinks and then putting them together. That was not the case. It was literally somebody pulled half from one slushy machine and pulled half from the other slushy machine. And they said, it's called the Miami Vice. Now, according to liquor.com, and this is awesome, liquor.com is pretty sure, and they're not giving out their sources, so I have not been able to look into it. But liquor.com is a pretty good one. They're pretty sure that the Miami Vice, the cocktail, predates Miami Vice, the TV show. And there's a chance that Miami Vice, the TV show, actually took the name from the Miami Vice, the drink. Now, I am not saying that. I am saying liquor.com is saying that. And from there, I am helping to spread that tiny little rumor. Raquel Martinez is now singing Little Pig. Little Pig. Okay. What we need to make this one is 2 separate drinks. We need one to have a strawberry daiquiri, and 2, we need to make a drink called a pina colada. And then we have to add them together in some sort of fashion so that it looks like it comes right out of the 80s. Well, we're in luck because we have all the ingredients to do all that stuff. And can I introduce you to Kyle's newest thing? Kyle is growing strawberries. This is our very first harvest of strawberries, and the strawberries will be making an appearance today in the Miami Vice. So let's get our cups. Jay Carter has to go. So if you guys were having fun before, I asked you immediately to stop. We're going to play this as a funeral dirge. Goodbye, Jay Carter. Jay Carter has to go. But we can honestly, Jay, with your permission, we will keep the party that you started going. Let's start by making the strawberry daiquiri. We're going to go ahead and throw in just a couple of these beautiful. I mean, my goodness, Kyle, look at these strawberries. We're just going to throw them right in here. We're just going to toss, I don't know, what, 2, 3 of those in here. I don't know what these, I was not allowed to eat these beforehand, so I don't know what exactly they taste like, how strong they are. Well, why don't we put the little ones in there? Throw just some of these, and we'll throw one more. That one right there. Excellent. Started the show again. Give me a second. I gotta pause this. Otherwise, it's tough to edit. Where do I go to? Oh, under music, stop. Still learning the buttons. Okay, next thing we want to put in here is going to be some lime juice. After this, we're just going to be basically building a daiquiri. You can make these as plentiful as possible or as small as possible. We're just going to go ahead and slice this guy right down here. There we go. And we will use our squeezer for this. Nice and easy squeeze. Squeeze. Little lime, let me squeeze. There we go. We're going to make 2. I have some guests over, so I figured we would make 2. Maybe we'd have a little extra going on. Just go ahead and squeeze this in here. Yes. Squeezing the limes. Squeezing the limes. Squeezing the limes. Dang, Mr. Highway bringing up Bitchin' Camaro is quite a blast from the past, man. Now that song's stuck in my head. This is simple syrup right here. This is our blend simple syrup. You want to match, especially for this one, you want to match your sour to your sweet. So we're going to go ahead and probably put in about, I don't know, what do you think? Maybe a little more than an ounce simple syrup in here. Pretty good. And then we want to get our rum. This rum's coming straight out of the 80s. You stay there. Rum is coming straight out of the 80s. This is, of course, Bacardi. It is the vodka of rums. That does not mean it's a bad rum. It just means that it really doesn't... it really belongs in a drink like this, not necessarily a drink where the rum is super important, that you taste all the cane, et cetera, et cetera. So go ahead and we're going to put in 2 ounces of some rum. Right there. Put this here off to the side. And then we switcheroo. Next thing we have to make is a pina colada. Again, very simple. We are not going to go crazy out of our minds trying to build the greatest pina colada of all time. We just need a pina colada that is passable in order to bring us 2 different colors. So go ahead and put in about 2 ounces of some pineapple juice. Right there. And we want to put in 2 ounces of some homemade, this is coconut cream. When I say coconut cream, it's just coconut milk, sugar, and a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt to kind of keep it preserved. After the first use of it, or like if you're making stuff in one day, then that's fine. But if you're going to let it sit in your refrigerator for a while, why not put just a little bit of rum in there, help it, keep it a little longer. We need about 2 ounces of some coconut cream. Looking real good there. And then you're going to want to use the 80s, the best rum of the 80s, Bacardi. The vodka of rums. Put in 2 ounces of some Bacardi Superior. Excellent. Now, the idea behind this drink is we want this thing coming in layers, and we want it to be nice and neon and big and bold and popped its collar. We want it to be top down on the Miami freeway, just cruising to the next crime. That's what we're looking for right here. So in order to do that, we got to add some ice. We want to add enough ice to make these into basically slushy. So get your ice going in here. A little extra ice isn't going to hurt anybody. Hopefully we brought enough ice. You really want some of that ice to sort of stick out the top. Boy, I think we brought just enough ice. I think we brought enough ice down to the piece. There we go. Let me show you what we're looking at right there. Oh, let me get this little jig out the way. This is what we're looking for right here. This one probably has a touch too little ice. Let's just manhandle that if we can. Got that right there. Now, lucky for me, I have a blender that is easy enough to blend two different things. Let's bring up the star of our show, the NutriBullet. Dr. Cush's Exotic NutriBullet Experience. Should have been the name of the show early on. Want to get this in here. We want to give this, oh, that's not going to be a, let's bring in blend cam. I want to give this a nice hefty blend. We do want this to have a very slushy feeling. So blend until all the ice is crushed, but don't over blend it so you start melting the ice. Oh, let's go here. That's what we're looking for. I want you, yeah, here, let's bring this in here. Watch. Little pig. Okay. We got that in here. This is the consistency. Let's bring in consistency cam. This is the consistency we want. Look at all that consistency. Oh boy. Okay. Put that off to the side. Then we want to take that exact same idea, pop on over to our other blendable drink, and give this a big twirl around. Slightly less consistency. That's okay. We will be okay, folks. We will be okay. Oh, it's got plenty of consistency. Okay. We want them to both be moving a little slow. I might actually give this one just a bit of a stir. We want them to have a similar amount of, oh my gosh, that is so good. We want them to have a similar amount of ice to liquid. Is also really good because the way this one gets served, what have I done with it? Oh, is it? No. What did I do with the squall glass? I had a squall glass, and now I don't have a squall glass. Did I move it to the front, and then now I can't find it? Oh, there it is. Little squall, let me find you. We want to find this guy right here. Something with a big, thick base down here at the bottom, something with a little skinny there on top. If you're making a larger version of this, obviously you can, making a larger version of this, you can make it into a hurricane glass. That's perfect, but this is what we want. We want to pour these in slowly and at the same time so that we can build it right down the middle. You can also, if you are a little weird about it, you can put a little piece of like plastic in here to keep them separated, but we're going to try it at the same time. We're going to try and get this going. Maybe we'll do it this way so we can get a really good look at it. 1 second. There's a little technique to it, and this has to be a little less stingy with its ice. We put just a touch too much ice in here. Okay. All right, here we go. That, my friends, is the look of the drink that we want. We want it. Let me get my face on here. We want this to have a dual consistency. We want it to have. I keep saying consistency. We want this to have. I gotta find a place to put these. Put them on the ground. Okay, on the ground. Nobody drop. We want this to have. If you look at it from this way, it looks very much like it is a strawberry daiquiri. If you look at it from this way, it looks very much like it is a pina colada. Look at it from both ways, and we have a double. Darn it! Tried not to kick over the thing, and then I did this. Okay. There we go. I realized midway through this, I got so distracted by. Oh, that's all right. Do you want them? I know you want this. Yeah. Kyle wants this. Let me explain why we have done this drink. Here, Kyle, you can take this one, and I will. I'll send this. I'll do this one, then I'll make my own. Got it. Careful, careful, careful. Anyway, let me explain why we made the drink today. Why we did this one. Forgot to explain why this is at Coachella. Friend of the bar, lovely all around gentleman, a guy whose name is Sammy Ross, is opening up a pop-up or has a pop-up going on at Coachella right now. At his pop-up is called Miami Vice, and he is making 1980s cocktails. So, in order, geez Louise, so because Sammy Ross says the thing that is going on at Coachella right now is 80s drinks at our bar, at an extension of Attaboy, the very famous New York Attaboy, I decided if it's good enough for Sammy Ross, it is absolutely good enough for us. So that's why we did the Miami Vice tonight. Paulie Boy says very, very good looking. Sean, Mark, and Kush are killing her, killing old Raquel Martinez. Not by the hair, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Since Kyle stole mine, I'm gonna make myself one real quick because I didn't even get to drink it. Kyle just came charging in here. Kyle is clearly very stingy and selfish. We're gonna try this one more time. I'm gonna put it this way. Now that's melted a bit, we're just gonna pour in. There we go. That's that look we're going for. That split right down the middle. Give it a little spin ski. Why don't we give it a little spin ski over here? That right there, my friends, is a Miami Vice. The way to do the Miami Vice, a perfect cocktail. If you're working at a slushy station and you have the ability to do two at once, this is a great cocktail. Also, one of the great, probably in the top 4 or 5 great cocktails from the 1980s. This thing rules. This thing absolutely rules. So, from Sammy Ross. So thank you to Sam. Let me get my thing going here. I imagine Kyle is sitting out there nursing a brain freeze, so I probably won't get a straw from him. But to the 1980s, to the decade that brought us some of the worst cocktails, some of the best music. Let's be very honest. Some of the best music, some of the worst cocktails of all time. This right here is the Miami Vice. Cheers. We've done it. Boy, this thing is good. Just pour a touch more in there. There we go. Looking real good. Oh, he was he nursed his brain freeze and then was able to get me a thing. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you, buddy. Throw that in there. Give it one more spin. Give it one more spin. And there we have it. I did promise Kyle that I would make one of his strawberries garnish. So we will. Right there. Get that out of there. And there we have it. What a cocktail. What a night. For those of you that were sad that you missed Coachella, be sad no longer. If you cannot be at Coachella, you can at least drink like you're at Coachella. I assume Sammy Ross out there in Coachella is making, or at least one of his people is making, a Miami Vice. Now you know how to make a delicious Miami Vice. If you're just thinking about what to use in order to make a great cocktail for the Coachella Valley, let me say that's Coachella Cooler. It's the way to go. And if you find yourself in the middle of Spritz Alley, sure, that's not what it's called, but you find yourself in the middle of Spritz Alley, may I suggest throwing just a little bit of mezcal and some chocolate bitters into your Aperol Spritz for an amazing time. My girl Maureen from Shaker Mill made this in Santa Barbara and made her way to Attaboy and is now at Dutch Kills Boy. My goodness, that is quite a bartender. That is quite a resume. Yeah, the Dutch Kills Bar. Some of the great bars in the world. Cool. Do they want to be on the show? That's it, guys. That is what I have for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and comment and say hello. Comments, just say hi. And just, if you guys aren't doing anything right now, click that upvote button. That helps out the show a lot. It gets it into more people's faces. The more people, listen, if this show wasn't being pushed to other people, we would not have comments like this from Amy Beer. Those are 3 little pigs. She is not only singing little pigs, she found the little pigs and gave us comments. Amy Beer is at least new to commenting, and that is because of people like you making this show findable. So like, subscribe, share, and comment, and then remember that this show will always remain free. Free show. It's a service that I do. I think the government should pay at this point. Anyway, the show will always remain free, but if you can help out, I do have a Patreon right down there. I also have things like a PayPal and a Venmo if you're more interested in that way. We have a P.O. box that's about to be popping up any moment. So if you prefer to send shillings or some sort of doubloons, that's also a way to do it. If you can't help out financially, that is fine. Another great way to do it is to share this show. Tell people about it, not just in your regular lives, but in your dream lives, in your professional lives, in whatever swim teams you guys find yourself on. Just tell all the other swimmers, hey, we got this great show. Join. And if you can't do any of that, you're shy and you don't like swimming or you don't have a professional life, whatever it is, the best thing you can do is show up. We do classes here Mondays. So we do not do class here on Mondays. Do not show up on Mondays. We do class here Thursdays and Tuesdays and Saturdays. And that's the weirdest way I could have said that. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Any day with a T in it, we are here teaching about cocktails, talking about cocktails. And soon we will be cranking Bitchin' Camaro, suggests Mr. Highway. Yes, we will. Bitchin' Camaro. Anyway, so show up and do that. I will drop this in here so that if you guys want to take a shot with me, I would love to take a shot with all of you. We'll just paste this right here. Got to go quick. I have some stromboli to go eat. So join now. I'm going to run these. If you guys could just ooh and ah at all the credits going by. These are all people that are supporting the channel financially and keeping the channel afloat. That is what I have for you guys from all of us here in the Coachella Valley. And again, that is the right way to say it. Let me say this. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes, mister. Yes.
I know.
Yes, mister.
Please save your questions until I'm through. Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
This is the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
What? Are you Dr. Jinga Janga?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems. How about that drink?
How are you today?
When did you discover that you were so beautiful?
That's all I am. Just a regular human bartender.
Yeah!
Wow.
I'm in danger.
All right, we are back. This didn't get touched. We first of all very excited. We have two of our absolutely phenomenal regular joiners for the Fern Corps. We also have a brand new guest for the Fern Corps, and I am stoked on this one. Let me first say hello to our regulars. Let me get in here. You know who it is. It's Moose. Moose, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, very good.
Yeah, hanging out. You got your Moose shirt. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I have one more question. I just bought this one, the Eldorado 15.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And what is the difference between the 15 and 18, 15 and 12 when it comes to cocktails?
You're gonna use. They're gonna be pretty similar in cocktails. I'll be very honest with you. The cocktails you're gonna find, there's gonna be a little bit more wood in the 18 than there is in the 15. So what you're gonna want to do really is use the 18 where you need where a whiskey could suffice, and use the 12 in a place where you need more of that sugar. So sweeter drinks, maybe use that 12, and like more like closer to old fashions, you're gonna want to use that 18. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's the way
and
to go.
I want to show this to Debbie because on Thursday we talked about Bombay, and I actually have Bombay with my name on side though.
Get out of town, Espen's own Bombay, looking good, buddy. Espen with his amazing liquor collection. Let me say hello to our good friend. Speaking of liquor collections, there's our good friend Paul. Paul's just ready to drink. Why do I even need to ask you, Paul? How's everything going? Everything good?
I need to kill this bottle. There's not much left in it.
Well, Paul, I have a reason for you to kill that bottle. We have a brand new joiner tonight from our. Can you take a guess who it is? Either one of you, take a guess. Who's
Bear.
waiting in the waiting room? Huh?
Amy Bear. Not Amy?
It's Amy. It is Amy, baby. It is Amy. Amy, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh gosh, Amy, it is so nice to have you in the bar for real. So I think it's time we do a quick show. First of all, Amy, what are we drinking?
Fernet.
Oh my gosh, Amy. Oh my gosh, Amy, you are making my day. Let's do it. Amy, can I just ask, how did you find the show?
Mix was on Hungry.
Okay. Oh,
And so then I subscribed to that, and then I subscribed to you.
So Mix is funneling people my way. That's the highway to my bar. I love it. Cool. Well, Amy, I could not be happier that you were here, and I actually see the real spelling of your name. Nobody else is allowed to see it, but that's awesome. It's awesome.
See, you wouldn't be able to pronounce it. It's just easier to go with what I go with.
I love it. This is Amy Beer, everybody. Do not worry about it. Amy, so excited to have you to the bar. To everybody, do not carve upon stone or wood. He was honest or he was good. Instead, write and smoke on a passing breeze 7 words, and the words are these that say all that a volume could. He loved, he laughed, and he understood. Cheers. Cheers to all of you.
Cheers.
The Madre was really great, Kirsten.
Oh, you like that? The Aperol?
Yeah, the Sierra
I love
Madre.
Now, Espen, are you going back to sleep at this point, or are you up for the day?
I'm off for tonight. I'm seeing the YouTube.
Okay. All right. Well, have a buddy. Always let me get Moose's sound effect. Moose, and we will see you on the next one. Paul,
We'll talk.
I'll see you soon. Yeah,
Okay,
obviously we'll talk. And then Amy, I cannot tell you. This makes my heart so happy to have you here. I literally, when I saw you, I went like this. I was shocked. I was so excited to have you in here. So thank you, Amy, for joining. Thank you for being the newest member. of Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. And hopefully we will see you again very soon.
Yep.
Until next time, Amy, cheers. Guys, you guys can always join. I freaking love that anybody watches the show, and I especially love that you guys watch this show because you're my favorites. Until we are back here on Tuesday for Tiki Tuesday, this is Dr. Kush asking the age-old question.
Are you Dr. Jinga Janga?
And then saying,
Bye!